We are aware that the tech companies know many things about us. In this episode, we would like to exercise the idea of escaping the matrix. Welcome to the desert of the future, to the real world where people are being used and controlled by technology, where the people sacrifice privacy for convenience, where the shroud of matrix blinds people from seeing the true world. Right, enough cringe for now. Some people dismiss the privacy concerns about the data collection. They say that the tech companies are collecting your data for marketing reasons and just earn profit from your data, so that is cool. They earn money, I can buy a smartphone a little bit cheaper because of that. That's fine. But would you trust your neighbor with your data? Would you trust your employer with your private data? Do you trust your government? No? So why do you trust any company with your data? Let's discuss the idea of leaving the tech giants. Is it possible at all? First, would you like to meet your friends? Just open Facebook Messenger or open WhatsApp. Would you like to go anywhere? Well, Google Maps is your best bet. Would you like to listen to music? Maybe go to Spotify application. Would you like to watch TV? Your place is Netflix or Disney Plus. There seems to be no way to escape from the matrix. The features are buried deep inside of the web. In order to use the web effectively, you have to enter the matrix to some extent. In the world of matrix, you can do wonders. In the real world, you are like a second-class citizen. For some things, there are no viable alternatives. This ultimately comes down to you and your choice. How would you like to handle that problem? Do you fully embrace the new digital era of no privacy? Maybe from now on we should not fear smart devices and go full in. The era of private life has ended. Or would you like to do something about it? The fight might be difficult. The real world is more demanding. The choice is yours. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. The Matrix represents a world in which people live without knowing how much they are used. They do their everyday jobs, everyday tasks, without knowing what operates behind the curtain. The system does not oppress people in a visible manner, it just creates an illusion of choice and living. It seems to be also a peaceful world. The main character, Edward Snowden, Neo, finds out about it. He is surprised about the scale of total control. He learns that every person can be tricked into being an agent. Can it be translated to our world? Can we find a metaphor for our lives? It was disclosed by Edward Snowden that the government can use data from all tech giants. That means that every your device might become a government agent. Just like in the Matrix, every person can be used for spying, even without knowing. When people hear about privacy, some people reflect, yeah, there was a time I covered my camera, but I do not do that anymore for my laptop. I have nothing to hide. However, these people do support the Matrix system. Edward Snowden said, I do not want to live in a world where everything I say is recorded. That is not something I'm willing to support or live under. Another quote from Snowden. Arguing that you don't care about the right to privacy because you have nothing to hide is no different than saying you don't care about free speech because you have nothing to say. The thing is that it is not about audio or video capture only, but metadata from your activity, from your whole life. Should it be accessible by any government body? There is also no real escape from the system of total control. That is how it works, after all. That is how it will work. So, what is our option? To obey? There are some things that we can actually do. We can successfully limit the amount of our data. The data we exchange with the system is like a torrent. We can take a look at it. As Neo looks at the spoon, it can tell a lot about you, about your life, about your habits. Just think about which devices that communicate with the internet you own, why there are so many of them, why they require constant internet connection. Is it justified? Why does the devices do not have hardware switch to disable audio or video input? So, how do we limit the amount of our data we share with the world? Disable any features you do not currently use. This might mean various things. Think about Bluetooth in your phone, mobile data or Wi-Fi. Disable all sources of input. Might mean at least video or audio sources. Might be disabled via software access or hardware switches. Do not use online services or limit them. Spotify, Google Stadia, Steam, you name it. Times where music and movies could be bought on discs. These times have not passed yet. Games still can be bought on GOG platform. It is always better to buy something, even in the digital format, which you can store and maintain by yourself. Limit the amount of connected devices and limit smart hardware use. Do you really have to use smart watches, smart bands, smart speakers, smart devices, smart fridges, smart toasters, smart home appliances, smart locks, smart anything? VR goggles, noise cancellation headphones. Remember, these are not smart. These just provide features provided by a company to collect information about you. Disable Smart Assistant. Do you need assistants like Cortana, Siri or Google? Are they even supported in your country? Is voice recognition that important to you? Browser. This is your window through which you look at the world, digital world. Use a browser that respects your privacy. Accounts. Be conscious about accounts you create. Do you really have to have so many of them? Do you provide all your personal information when creating new accounts? You can use different emails accounts for different streaming platforms. Social media. Social media are bad for your psyche if misused. You might be more anxious, depressed after use. You have to carefully think about your approach toward them. Can you uninstall Facebook? End user license agreement. Always read end user license agreements. Always read permissions on smartphone. Always read web pages, cookie information. On the internet you are beaten on every corner of the internet with cookie requests until you become numb for privacy. Open source. The open source software is open, should not include any suspicious activity. Can you switch your operating system to Linux? Can you degoogle your phone with Lineage OS or eProject? Be self-sufficient. It is very uplifting in being able to fix a bike by yourself. When you are capable yourself, you do not have to rely on any other solutions companies' workshops. Create and maintain your own web page instead of having Facebook page. Create a NAS drive in your home network to store your files and data. There are some extreme measures not applicable for me, and probably not for majority of users, like using Tor, connecting via VPN, or using a burner laptop which you leave after some time of use. This is common practice when somebody visits China. As you can see, being responsible for yourself might require some effort from you. Now it's time for closing thoughts. These are the things that make Matrix Agent unhappy. But is it worth it? I cannot answer this question for you. You have to answer it yourself. Remember, we should not be scared of technology. We should be scared of companies and governments trying to wield it against us. That is all. Good luck.